Don't you ever refer to me as a victim. I am not a victim. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ashley Shami. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button below and let's hop on into this video. So recently I had somebody on my channel call me having victim mentality. And this was on a video where I talked about my issues and run-ins with workplace abuse. What I find really interesting about being called a victim is, let's just go to the definition first. So according to psychcentral.com, victim mentality is when a person feels like a victim across situations, even when the evidence suggests otherwise. So in that video, I provided evidence of being a person that was abused in the workplace. However, that wasn't enough. The commenter claimed that I had victim mentality because he stated, because if I kept having these toxic jobs, then I must be the problem. Let me get one thing clear. I find it really interesting that people get labeled as a victim when no one has anything to say about the abuser. So we got people who are abusing people in the workplace, people like myself, standing up for myself, or, making these videos. In these workplaces, I started to notice a theme shortly after getting hired. And the theme was running in a reel over and over and over. So instead of people seeing that as something's wrong with the people, no, it's something wrong with you. And I find it interesting that people want to sit there and call people a victim because they notice a theme, but then when it comes to them calling it out, they get accused. No one accuses the abuser. The abuser gets away scot-free. But the person who is subject to the abuse and says, hey, there's a problem here. I didn't notice it before, but I notice it now. Now they get accused of calling a victim. Don't you ever refer to me as a victim. I am not a victim, okay? I am a strong woman, not a victim. Victims lay down on the floor and allow people to treat them like a victim. I stood up against that stuff. And so what if I got fired? It was a blessing in disguise every single time. And even if I have to quit, I'll quit again and quit again and quit again. Because let me tell you something. I'm not going to subject myself to some crazy person's abuse just because I don't want to be seen as a victim. Get your life. Another thing I want to talk about on these jobs. Most of my life's challenges, yes, I've had some outside of the job, but specifically, most of the drama and issues that I've experienced have been inside of the workplace. And you know why? That's because I was a soft-spoken person. I was a kind-hearted person. I was raised to love people. I was raised to treat people with respect. And I was raised to be professional with people. And you know what I find really interesting? Thank goodness that was my default personality, so it wasn't hard for me to practice those things. But I find it interesting that, guess what? That's not everybody's reality. And then the people who weren't raised that way, somehow something's wrong with you because you treat people right. Something's wrong with you because you know how to say good morning. And then if the person doesn't say good morning back to you, just be the bigger person. Just be the bigger person. So it's okay for this person to be disrespectful, rude, abusive, and maligning. But it's okay for you to just be the bigger person. Because the expectation for you is far greater than it is for them. And I have a problem with that. And I want to share something with you all on the spiritual side of this. So for those who believe in the Bible, I want to share with you John 16:33. Which states, these things I have spoken to you, that in me you will have peace. In the world you will have tribulation. Let's just stop right there. I'm going to reread it again. In the world you will have tribulation. So Jesus is telling us in the Bible that we will have tribulation. So that lets me know something is going to go left at one point or another in my life. However, because I have him, I can be of good courage because he has overcome the world. Great. Okay. I have another scripture to share. This is Revelation 12:12. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Now, with that being said, we are made up of our soul. Our soul is made up of our mind, our will, and our emotions, which is connected to the spirit realm. So, there are demonic forces of evil that are going on in the spirit realm. Let's just say this, for example. There comes a lady at work and she had a bad day. So instead of leaving her bad day before she walked into the door at work, where it was, she brought it with her. Okay? So let's say that this is a manager, and this manager is having issues at home, issues in their relationship, issues with their kids, and here you are, completely innocent, just an innocent bystander, minding your own business, and all of a sudden you get caught in the crossfire of their unresolved issues. And instead of maybe yielding to, let me just be nice to them and handle my issues, no, they say, I don't like her because she's not dealing with what I'm dealing with, or I don't like him because he's not dealing with what I'm dealing with. So I'm going to negatively yield the power that I have in this job to feel better about myself. So I'm going to pick on them and eventually fire them just to make myself feel good. It happens. And guess what? That's not having a victim mentality. That's being abused. There's a difference. So before people haul off and call people victims, before you go there, understand that you got to live it. And I would not wish that on anybody. I would not wish anybody living through workplace abuse. It sucks. So, with all that being said, watch your mouth before you hop in my comments and call me a victim. Because let me tell you something. All those people that did me dirty in the workplace, there was something wrong with those people. I was nice to those people. I was sweet to those people. I was respectful to those people. And it didn't matter because those people were hell-bent on being nasty. Those people didn't care. If you are in a company of some folk on a job site who are, some of them are like, yeah, I got to get myself together. I got to work on this. I got to work on that. And then you got other people, I don't want to work on this. I don't want to work on that. You got some people who are on your job that are like, I need to get my relationship right with God. You got some that said, I'm tired of God. I don't want to believe in God anymore. You got some people out here who are like, you know what? I'm going to make this person suffer for something that I'm suffering with. And you ain't got nothing to do with them. And you have no idea. You're just like a lamb walking among wolves, not knowing that they're sitting here plotting on your demise. It happens. So when it comes to the workplace, you can't control anything in there. There is a toss-up of junk going on up in that place. There's good stuff and there's bad stuff, but more likely than not, there's more bad things. Now, I'm not saying that all workplaces are like this because they're not. By the grace of God, I work at a great workplace now. It's nothing like the workplaces I've worked in the past. And I've worked at this workplace that I'm working at now for going on 4 years next year. So there is such thing as a good workplace, and there is such thing as not being a victim of it. Victim to me is like a curse word, okay? It's almost like I could take a curse word better than being called a victim because I know that's not what I am. But so you got the gist of what I'm saying. Do not feel like you are the victim because you choose to stand up for yourself, or even if you want to start making videos about this, you should. Trust me, there's many people out there who need encouragement, who need support, who need to know, okay, I'm not by myself. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. There are a whole bunch of crazy people out here. And if we want to get into mental health stats, all right, here we go. Check this out. Since some people do well on numbers. Check this out. Okay, so according to trainingindustry.com, a bad pulse can quickly drain motivation, and nosedive productivity. Impact on productivity research suggests that employees with bad bosses waste between 10% to 52% of their time at work. Wasted. Instead of working, they spend time withdrawing, avoiding, and networking for support and ruminating about their situation. When employees do not show up, some recent work productivity stats have found 48% intentionally decrease their work effort, 38% intentionally decrease the quality of their work, 63% lost work time avoiding the boss, 78% said that their commitment to the organization declined, and 25% admitted to taking their frustration out on customers. So now you can see how, even on the flip side of this, the negativity that the supervisor or boss or whatever workplace abuser is negatively infecting others to act negatively with the customer. In this case, it's the customer. The customer's the innocent bystander, and they have to sit there and be abused because why? You got the boss that's abusive, the supervisor that's abusive, then because they're abusing the employee abuses the customer or the client, it just goes down, right? Now, I want to end this video with this scripture. Let this scripture sink in. Proverbs 4:16. Evil people are restless unless they're making trouble. They can't get a good night's sleep unless they have made life miserable for somebody else. Be blessed.